Asalamualaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. Welcome to Ramadan 2022. May Allah accept it from us and make us among those whose sins are forgiven. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys some good deeds that you can include this Ramadan, as well as some bad deeds to remove from your life if they are in your life, inshallah. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. So the first good deed that I would like to suggest or recommend is to pray the 12 extra sunnah rakats of prayers each day. So you do this by performing 2 rakats before Fajr, then 4 rakats before Dhuhr and 2 rakats after Dhuhr. Then you pray 2 rakats after Maghrib and then follow that up with 2 rakats after Isha. And there is an authentic hadith by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he is noted to have said that whoever is regular with 12 rakats of sunnah prayers each day, Allah will build a house for him in Jannah. So I'm sure we all want that house in Jannah, and Ramadan is a time to maximize our good deeds. So that is the first good deed that I would like to share with you guys. The second good deed is to share a source of Islamic knowledge with another Muslim. Now, sometimes we all feel like we have to be very knowledgeable in Islam before we share anything. But the truth is, everything has already been told to us or taught to us by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as Allah in the Quran. So everything that we share to each other is more of a reminder, because a reminder benefits the believer. When you are reminded of something, you remember to practice it and you gain the rewards for it. And this can also be a source of sadaqatu jariyah, because one of the things that can benefit you after you pass away is the knowledge that you shared with someone and you taught that person that thing. And because of that, as long as that person continues to act upon it and practice that, then even when you are dead and you are in your grave, you still gain reward for having shared that knowledge and for that person acting upon that knowledge. And if that person shares that knowledge to someone else, you continue to gain good deeds. So brothers and sisters, please try your best to share authentic Islamic knowledge with your brothers and sisters in the deen. The third good deed that you could do this Ramadan is to introduce Islam to a non-Muslim. Oftentimes we think about each other and we forget that there are people all over the world who do not know about Islam, or they don't have much knowledge about Islam. And this Ramadan is a good opportunity to share some sort of knowledge with your non-Muslim brothers and sisters in humanity, let's call them that. So try your best to do that. And if Allah decrees that through you someone will enter into Islam, that is a huge reward, guys. Everything that person does as a Muslim for the rest of their lives, and anybody else that benefits from them, you will gain reward for it. Imagine every time they make wudu, every time they pray salah, every time they fast in the month of Ramadan, the fact that they hold that deen until the end of their lives, you will gain reward for that. So let us not ignore our brothers and sisters in humanity who don't have the knowledge of Islam. Let us share the deen and introduce Islam to someone. Perhaps because of the mercy of Allah upon us, He might choose one of us and lead us to guide someone else into Islam through His permission. So introduce Islam to a non-Muslim. The fourth good deed that you can do this Ramadan is to memorize 4 or 3 or 2 du'as from the book Hisnul Muslim, which I'm sure most of you guys already know of, and act upon that dua or practice that dua on a daily basis. If you don't know what that book is, it's a book of duas that you can do every day. It includes du'as to make when you're entering the toilet, the du'a that you can make before you leave the house, the du'a that you make before intimacy. It's just a book full of du'as. And if you learn some of those du'as and you practice it in your everyday life, of course, it's going to be a means of protection for you. The whole point of making du'a before we do our everyday activities is first and foremost to remember Allah. And secondly, because every du'a that you make, it protects you from the shaitan. Down to wearing clothes, there is dua that you make before you put on new clothes, and it just shows the mercy of Allah upon all of us. So let's make use of the duas in that book, learn a few duas from that book and use it and practice it in your daily lives this Ramadan and moving forward from that, inshallah. The fifth good deed that you can do this Ramadan is to visit a sick person that you may or may not know and give charity to them whilst you're there. This comes from a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that when a man goes to visit his sick Muslim brother, if he comes in the morning, 70,000 angels pray for him until the evening. And if he comes in the evening, 70,000 angels pray for him until the morning. We can all do with 70,000 angels praying for us when we leave our homes to visit our sick brothers and sisters. The next good deed is something that we practiced a couple of years ago here on my channel, and that is to memorize the 99 names of Allah. This follows a hadith whereby the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Allah has 99 names and whoever memorizes them will enter paradise. So guys, this does not just mean that we should just memorize the names. As I was reading further into this hadith, turns out that Sheikh Muhammad Uthaymeen said that this also means that you should learn them, you should memorize them, you should act upon them, and you should use them when making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it involves acting upon the 99 names of Allah and believing in them and making sure that you memorize them as well and keep them all in your head. So all of that involves memorizing them so that you can have the reward of entering paradise. So there are so much benefit to this. You can make a little competition for your kids at home so that they can start learning the 99 names of Allah, or you could also take up the challenge yourself and see how many names of Allah you can memorize and act upon this Ramadan, inshallah. Good deed number 7, make dua for all members of your family this Ramadan during every salah, and also make dua for the ummah at large. Sometimes we get so preoccupied with our own issues and our own problems in life that we forget that making dua for other people is also a way of having our duas being accepted as well. Because whenever you make dua for your fellow brother or sister in the deen, the angels say Ameen, and the same for you. So whatever you are asking for Allah to bless them, Allah blesses you with the same as well. So brothers and sisters, remember your family members this Ramadan in your salah, at the end of your salah, in your sujood, during Taraweeh. Just remember to make dua for other members of your family, your friends, and the ummah at large. Good deed number 8, make up with someone you've fallen out with. I know this can be hard because I'm sure there are plenty of reasons why you've fallen out, but making up with your brother or sister that you've fallen out with is such a blessing, brothers and sisters. It is not a requirement to be besties with every single Muslim out there. All Islam requires of all of us is that we try our best to stay on talking terms with others. Now, if people have violated your boundaries and they've really harmed you, then obviously a healthy distance is probably one of the best methods to go about resolving that if they will not respect your boundaries. But avoid completely falling out with people for very long periods of time, and that's the lesson I've had to learn myself. So if you can make up with someone this Ramadan, please try your best to do so. Good deed number 9, feed an animal today. You're thinking, feed an animal? Yes, feed an animal. Do you remember the hadith of the woman who was not doing very good things in life, who gave, was it a cat or a dog, a drink of water, and because of that Allah forgave her her sins? So brothers and sisters, let's not minimize the importance of looking after our animals in Islam. They are Allah's creatures, and for as long as they are of no harm to us, then we should try our best to look after them as well. So if there is a random cat that always comes into your home, or a dog that you see panting around, give them some drink, give them some food to eat. It has reward in that. So try to do that this Ramadan, inshallah. Good deed number 10, make tahajjud for someone going through a hardship. This is one of the greatest ways that you can help someone who's really going through a difficult time in life. For you to be able to wake up before Fajr, pray some extra sunnah rakats and make dua for them. No one sees you except you and Allah. And I'm telling you, these are one of the sincere good deeds that can really help you a lot when you are going through a hard time in life. So if you know of that person that's going through a really difficult time and there is absolutely nothing you can do to help them, tahajjud is one of the best gifts that you can give to them without them even knowing. Good deed number 11. Buy something beneficial for a brother or a sister. This could be a hijab, an abaya to encourage another sister to dress more modestly, a book for a sister to encourage her in her journey to Allah. Gift someone a gift that will be beneficial for them in their lives, because again, every time they act upon those good deeds, you gain reward for it, guys. One of the greatest gifts that I like to gift people whenever I can is a prayer mat, because every time they pray on that, I get rewarded for that as well, and I'm also gifting them something that is useful for them in their journey to Allah. Next good deed: do the food shopping for your parents this Ramadan. So most of us are daughters and sons, and oftentimes we're always looking to what our parents can do for us, and we forget that there is a lot that we should be doing for our parents. So how about you relieve your parents of the spending budget this Ramadan? How about you do the food shopping for your parents this Ramadan? Even if it's a small piece of something that you can buy and bring home for the family to break their fast with, I'm sure it will be appreciated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So try and do the food shopping for your parents this Ramadan. I'm sure they will appreciate it. Good deed number 13. Start your Hajj fund. Yes, most people don't just sit there and hope for the day where they will happen to have £5,000 in their bank account to be able to go for Hajj. It's usually a plan that people put together. They save money bit by bit every month in order to be able to afford to go for Hajj. So if this is something that you want to be able to do now that we're slowly coming out of COVID, inshallah, Hajj will resume again and people will be able to go in the coming years, inshallah. So if this is something that you want to be able to achieve and complete the fifth pillar of Islam, then start saving for your Hajj fund now. Good deed number 14. Set up a direct debit for a charitable cause for the rest of the year. I'm telling you guys, this is one of the best ways to keep up with an act of charity if it means you giving money to someone else. So find an organization that you trust and an organization where you know where the money is going to and that it will actually be reaching the people in need. And you can set up a direct debit so that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to remember. It just comes out of your account just the same way as every other bill does, and by the end of the year you'll be surprised how much you've actually gifted for the sake of Allah. Charity pleases Allah and it cools the anger of Allah. It removes difficulty from our lives and it can also block bad qadr from reaching us. So guys, set up your direct debit this year and find a good charitable cause and donate. Good deed number 15. Do istighfar as you work from home. If, like me, you often work from home, then no one is around to distract you. You can make the most of that and make istighfar as you work. So istighfar is saying astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Now, as much as someone might think that is not a complete tawbah, istighfar is for your minor sins. And the more of that you do, the higher the chances of your du'as being accepted. And this comes from the story of the baker who always made istighfar as he worked. So this is an immensely rewarding deed that we should all make use of, especially those of us who work from home and are not distracted by others. So make use of istighfar this Ramadan. So guys, those are some good deeds that you can do this Ramadan. Of course, there are so many more good deeds that you can do. So add your own ideas and pick and choose what will you find easier to do and what you think will be beneficial for you in your life, inshallah. I will make another video including the 15 bad deeds to remove this Ramadan in my next upload, inshallah. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.